I'm sure at some point someone's told you about the company you keep and how it may affect you. Well, it may be affecting you in ways you haven't even thought about.
Judgmental.
They say be careful of the company you keep because you'll become a reflection of that group. But how about this? Your expectations of your own success can be molded by the company you keep. Let me share with you a wake-up call that I received myself a few years back. A few years ago, a friend of mine that I met since I moved to Atlanta stopped by to discuss a music project we were working on together. Now, this was a good guy who unfortunately had grown up in public housing, and that had framed his expectations of himself and of the world in terms of his limits and what he could do. Unfortunately for him, his vision of the world didn't really see himself getting much further beyond that. As he was leaving my house, he walked through the old and needing repair door of my house and said, "Wow, Judge, you got a big old house here, man. I didn't know it was this big. This is a big house. You're doing it, Judge. You're really doing it in this big house." And you know what? After hearing that a few times from people from his perspective of vision, I actually started to believe it. And I have to admit, about that time, I actually relaxed on my hustle a little bit because I thought I had made it. But then the very next weekend, I went to my college's homecoming. And although we don't want to admit it, especially in our first few years of going back to a homecoming, people start kind of measuring each other up and seeing where they're at in life. Well, I found out that I really wasn't doing that well compared to my peers. And as I spent some time that weekend with my college peers, I realized that my current peers back in Atlanta were not on the same level or were not trained to the same aspirations as the group that I hung out with in college. Many of my college peers now were business owners, doctors. They were talking about them traveling around the world. And what really hit home was when I visited one of my friend's house. House was much bigger, much larger, much newer, 2 nice cars and a motorcycle in the garage. And I realized, wow, Judge, you're really not doing it like you thought you were. You see, what happened was the company I had been keeping recently back in Atlanta at that time was affecting my own definition of success. Because the peer group that I had been hanging out with at that particular time, their life goal was just to get out of an apartment and into a home. Meanwhile, my peers from college were buying apartments and homes and apartment complexes, starting businesses, finishing high-level degrees, traveling the world, and continuing to grow. You see, positively or negatively, the company you keep will affect you. It'll change your definitions of success. It will change your expectations of success. It'll change your expectations for yourself. It's your choice whether to align yourself with people who will allow you to remain stagnant or people who will push you forward and make you have higher goals for yourself. You see, the people you choose to hang around with are examples of the person that you want to be. You've got a choice. Once again, I'm just trying to share things that I think and I hope will help you out in your success. These are just my thoughts. That's why they're so judgmental. If you want to catch more, be sure to check out my blog at SoJudgeMental.com. Sign up for the newsletter there. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/judgemedia. Love you. Talk to you soon.
Judgmental.